sure they look marketable, sellable, and they have that uniqueness that anyone of high value looks at them and says, I want you. Same thing with you, right, Jim? Like you get a lot of people who are wanting to be on your podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned to me, you turn people down. So why do you turn people down? Well, obviously you've got a lineup of people, so they've got to stand out, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing in our world, like I had a conversation with someone this morning. I said, listen, as much as I want to believe that just because you're talented, you're good looking, or you have a great product, people should just know you, dude. No, people's attention spans are so short. You got to catch them straight away. And oh, that's interesting. And then you keep them and they're like, oh, now I want to do something with it,
Yeah, I think it's so important to identify those values and what you bring to the table, not only personally, but your business as a whole, or your event that you're doing, or your activity. Being in the alcohol business for so long, we were constantly hit up to host events or, donate alcohol or sponsor. I tell you, every call I got, which was probably a dozen a day, hey, this is the best event ever. It's the next best, all the popular people are going to be there.
Right.
Yeah, I get that. I get those calls all day long. What is it about you that that I want to be a part of? We've got to find that within ourselves.
So let me ask you a question, right? To spin it back. What got your interest? Like, what was actually that? Did their homework to get in front of you better? Like, did they send you a gift, or did you like, okay, I'm going to take this guy's call seriously, or what was the hook for you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. What was an immediate thing that was not a hook is if they didn't do their research on the company, right? If they didn't know anything about our product, our brand, or our history, if they resonated with who we are. It only takes 5 minutes, by the way. At Kettle One, we had a video you could watch online and know everything you needed to know about us. If you watch that video, you're already in the door practically, right? So it's really understanding who you're speaking to, what you're trying to accomplish there, and if it aligns. I'm a big proponent, and really David Meltzer hammered this in my head when I worked with him for so many years. Value for value. What are you bringing me, and what can I bring back to you so that it's a cohesive event, or activity, or guest appearance, or even an investment? We've got to bring value for value to one another.
That's great.
Yeah. We live in such a great world of connectivity. Your job is to connect people through this social network. Where are you driving people to spend the most energy at right now within the social world or marketing world?
Honestly, the content that comes from their mouth.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yes, you can be in Forbes. Yes, you can get verified. Yes, you can grow your followers. But eventually, you can't keep getting on Forbes. Eventually, they're going to have to come back to your Instagram and get to know you.
Yeah.
So the best way is I think the biggest thing that I do great with people is bring out the best version of them to sell them through content. Like, talk about video, talk to the people on video about who they are, what they do, what they're about, what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, why they're the best. Content will never die. Forbes could die.
Yeah.
A blue tick on Instagram may lose its value. A podcast may not be cool anymore. I don't know. But I always know what will never fail is you.
Yeah.
Right. And video will never fail. So we spend a lot of time on getting clients to really help them, make it easy for them to tell the world who they are through themselves.
Jay, to your point, I want to compliment you with this. I met you only a few days ago. It was on a group call, small group. I know that you were bringing value there. I don't think it was a paid gig. And you spent an hour there with the group, and you brought value to them. We connected. You said, let me be on your show. What I want to compliment you on is your willingness and ability to work, right? To reach out, connect, get on the show, make the time, make the connection, because you don't know where it's going to lead, but you got to get out there and do the work. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that, especially at the level you're doing it.
Dude, people are not. Thank you, man. Firstly, people. It's either ego or fear.
Yeah.
Ego of I'm too good for you, or scared. Usually, it's ego. They should. It's like that. They should know how amazing I am. But I just know the power of yes. Knock it. It's not like I have to fly 4 hours away and go on a boat and then a ferry and then hopefully, dude. You're asking me, hey man, I'd love to just jump on a call, press a button, let's go.
Yeah.
The power of I think speed is your best friend sometimes, because you get in your head, hey, let's book it. Do that. So I just feel like it's the more that you can put yourself out there, the better chances you have.
Yeah, it's all about the action. You can talk about it, but it's all about the action. Like I said, I've known you less than a week. We've interacted
Yeah.
3 times already. I feel like I know you. I was looking forward to having you on the call. When I
Thanks,
look at
man.
your website, I see you associated with people that are just like you. Ed Milet's on the top of your list on podcast guests, that you can,
Right.
work with. I mean, that guy is worth $1 billion almost probably, and that guy's grinding all day, every day. We're on a call this Wednesday together in our Arte syndicate, and it's like, wow, that's how they got to where they're at. And I think it's important to say this because if you're willing to help somebody through your agency, they've also got to put in the work. You can't just give them the blue dot and then think everything's going to be good.
I don't, yes, I can get you the advantage that most people can't, but that doesn't mean everybody gets through,
Yeah.
you know? And that I'm like, you got to, the first person to vet you is me. Because at the end of the day, if I make you famous, but you have no content or character, one, makes me look stupid, and two, you will ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's like what I usually do is I take people that are already running that I'm like, okay, they just need a little bit of direction, and then they will sprint.
Yeah. Jay, I want to get one more question out of you.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of somebody that you've worked with recently that really needed your help and you brought them up to that next level and what the results were? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I know you got a lot of customers,
Okay.
but who stands out for you?
Hey, no, listen, if you can't ask the hard questions and answer them, you better get out of the game. This is what I tell my clients. One thing, and I'll answer your question, not to divert it, to try push off to me to try think. One thing I do with my clients when they work with us month 4 or month 5 is I put them on a couch and I put cameras in front of them.
Yeah.
And I drill them. Drill them in the Australian word means I give them the hard questions.
Yeah.
And I make them feel uncomfortable. And the reason I do that is I said, listen, it ain't always going to be sunshine and rainbows with questionnaires from journalists. They may hit you hard. And if you're not willing to answer them quick, that could ruin your career.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing I do. So okay, to one of your questions, one guy that we've had like Zooms, like speaking, bringing that out with content. And I think that was our biggest win here. From a financial point of view, yeah, he's getting booked for keynotes and stuff like that, but that was going to happen anyway. I think it was really like helping him articulate the idea of being in that position when he had, as he calls it, the blank checkbook.
Yeah.
Like that's a great hook.
Yeah.
What is it like when Coca-Cola says, listen, here's a checkbook. You can go everywhere around the world to shoot this new campaign, make us look amazing.
Yeah.
What is that power like? What does that look like? How do you find the right designers? How do you deal with those decisions? What does it feel like when you're not sure if it's going to work? So I think from that point of view, helping someone bring out the story in them and articulating that correctly through online is a big win.
I love that example because you're talking about somebody at Coca-Cola. You're not talking about a celebrity or aspiring musician, or TikToker. You're talking about a corporate guy. Not that Coke's not exciting. I love their product, but you're talking about a corporate guy that you brought value to in this arena that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, anybody's open to improving, their who they are in the public eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Our favorite clients or my favorite clients to work with are people who usually have made something else famous or built something else up. And now we turn the spotlight on them. So Coca-Cola or a guy we have who's built up a lot of plastic surgery clinics. He's made other people and other businesses famous. Now I want to get in his mind and turn it on him and go, how did he build it? How did he deal in an industry where beauty is very loved and hated? How does he work with people? How is he worried about getting sued? Because in the beauty industry, one slice goes wrong. There's so many elements to stories where usually these people have these amazing experiences, and my job is to bring it out of them.
I love that. I got a job for us one day if we can ever do it. My brother, Mark Taylor, was the CEO for In-N-Out Burger for 35 years. He helped them.
Is he still there?
No, he just retired. He's on the board still. He just retired though, and I'm like, Mark, we got to tell your story, man. Like, what an incredible run, all the way from the passing of the owner, his transition into his sister-in-law that runs it now. And you know what he says? He's like, Jim, I don't want to be in the limelight. I don't want to tell my story. I just want to be retired. I'm like, oh, what a great story we could have
Dude,
had.
he would be. I will. Maybe I have to go knock down his door. Like that would be a client I'd fight for,
Oh,
just
yeah.
to say like I got the guy. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I interviewed him a couple years ago in the beginning of my show, and I said, hey, of your career, what's been your favorite part? And you'll love this. He says, my favorite part in the career was when I was actually a store manager, and he was in West Covina, east of LA, and running a team. He goes, it was all about the team. He goes, I couldn't wait to get to work and work with the team. He goes, as I graduated into the executive ranks, my team got smaller and smaller and smaller, and I didn't have that, it's just like a baseball team, right? You get to pull something off together, hit those goals, so
Right.
it was a great answer from him. He's a great guy. But like you said, it's awesome to pull these people behind the scenes, tell their stories, and share it with the world.
Yeah.
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 I do have one more question for you. It's going to be fast. You maintain this level of energy. It's the reason why I was looking forward to talking to you. What gets you there every day, or what keeps you there on a regular basis? Because it's infectious. And I think people need to learn how to do that.
When I think when you know what's possible for your life and where you're at, all you want to do is go run. And I really enjoy in what I do. I really enjoy it. Not every day I love it, right? I'd be lying, but I do believe that if there is some kind of enjoyment enough of what you do, you will shine through. People know. People can feel it. This guy's so into what he does, and it is. You want to be a part of that. And I tell my clients too, like we've got to find that joy from you, because that joy will attract. It's a different kind of attraction. It has got nothing to do with sales. It's got nothing to do with attraction of looks or best copy. It's like there's this magical element when you're excited. It's a different energy,
Yeah.
different clothes.
Yeah.
So for me, I wake up and I'm excited about like what's possible and where I'm going and what I'm doing. So it's like, and I get excited about people too. People are important to me. So like me working in a bank by myself in a room, that ain't gonna do much for me.
Jay, I got to say that last 1 minute of this call is probably the best part. Just the insights of who you are, what you represent, why you do what you do. Thank you so much for that. And I appreciate
Thanks,
the time.
Tim.
Thank you for your energy. Thank you for what you do. I'm going to put your website and everything up on the show notes. We'll get this pushed out before Christmas, just because I want it out there. I've got shows booked out all the way into January. I'm going to slide this one in the middle,
push me
dude.
out, baby. I want to go front of the line. I need front of the queue, Give me that VIP touch.
You got it, Jay. Good touching base with you.
You too, man.
Thank you for listening to today's show. It is my pleasure and honor to interview all of the guests that have been on the Answer is Yes podcast. If you have enjoyed the show, please go on iTunes and subscribe, give a rating, or simply tell a friend about the show. We also believe in the message of our guests and the positive influence of their stories. As my own mentor and coach, David Meltzer, has taught me, spend some time every day thinking and writing about the things in your own life that you have more than enough of. You will find out how blessed we really are. Please visit my website, livelifedriven.com, for the latest updates about me and what I'm doing. Plus, I post a monthly blog about the many topics on this show. This podcast can also be found there. As I learned early on in life, what you believe is what you will achieve. Thanks, Mark Victor Hansen, and thank you, and have a great week.